that bare minimum, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Pentagon, the shadow government, is considering using the Gulf disaster as a pretext to stage some type of New Orleans-style martial law in a 3 to 4 state area from South Texas to Florida. And then the oil's also going to go up the East Coast during the tropical storm and hurricane season. So this is just extremely, extremely serious. And we have an article up on Infowars.com by Kurt Nimmo. Oil industry insider and CFR member predicts Gulf evacuation. Buried in an article on the Gulf of Mexico scenarios and predictions on the Washington Post, quotes Matthew Simons, founder and chairman of Emeritus of Simons and Company International, who's CFR. In response to a tropical storm brewing in the Caribbean, Simmons says, we're going to have to evacuate the Gulf states. Can you imagine evacuating 20 million people? This story is 80 times worse than I thought. Now, is he doing that as CFR fear-mongering, or is he picking up on some of the other, what could be potential fear-mongering out there on the internet in the last month, saying that, you know, there were already evacuations going on in the Gulf a month ago, which was not true. But troops are being obviously put in place and blocking the relief effort under orders from President Barry Soetoro. The National Hurricane Center said today that a stormy region in the Caribbean will get organized and strengthened into a tropical storm. It has a 40% chance of becoming a tropical cyclone. In other words, a hurricane in the next 2 days. An estimate that was a 0 a few days ago. Upper-level winds are expected to become more conductive for development of this system as it moves westward or west-northwestward around 10 miles per hour over the next couple of days, said the Baltimore Sun's meteorologist. There is a medium chance of this system becoming a tropical cyclone in the next 48 hours. AccuWeather also basically says the same thing. And if it gets blown in, if those, 50 million gallons a few weeks ago, I mean, who knows what it really is? They've been lying about how bad it is. 50, 60, 70 million gallons? I don't know. No one knows. But you can see it from satellite covering more than half the Gulf right now. If that gets blown in, see, right now it's in the currents out to sea and starting to go around Florida and out into the Atlantic. But if those hurricanes come in, the hydrologists and meteorologists know it's going to be blown into the shore. That means Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida. It's going to be extremely serious. And this oil is off-gassing a lot of fumes. It's confirmed deaths of cleanup workers. They have a new syndrome called Gulf tilt. They're getting very sick. BP has ordered them not to wear respirators because then they have to admit that there are toxic fumes. This cover-up is starting to unravel. So key article, oil industry insider and CFR member predicts Gulf evacuation. Here's Reuters. Methane in the Gulf astonishingly high, U.S. scientists say. And creating dead zones in the Gulf. BP and its oil's been hitting the Florida Panhandle in the last 3-4 days, starting to hit other parts of the state. I mean, this is amazing. And so, yes, is it really deadly oil that's toxic? Does there need to be an evacuation, or are the globalists hyping this and pushing this? But it's gone from rumor to reality as the government starts to talk about, and I have an EPA report here about evacuating people in certain areas of the Gulf. So we'll follow this. Stay with us.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Be sure to visit GCNlive.com today.
Let me tell you a little bit about one of our great sponsors, HomeGain.com. This is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting any real estate questions answered. Go to HomeGain.com and see what I'm talking about. All you need to do is type in your home address, and you will get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. This is a great way to be able to monitor the value of your home. And again, it's absolutely free. There are tons of tools to help you. For instance, if you want to remodel your home, go to HomeGain.com. Use their Home Sale Maximizer to help you determine which home improvements can most increase your home's value before you put it on the market. For 10 years, these folks have been helping home sellers and buyers. Visit their link at Infowars.com. Look for Max, the orange Home Gain Gorilla, to help you with any real estate needs you might have. You'll love this site. It's HomeGain.com. HomeGain.com. Check them out today.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Well, I'm extremely excited to have Governor Jesse Ventura, former Minnesota governor, with us. He's also the star of the hit TV show, #1 new show on TruTV, picked up for a second season. He's been out shooting in the last month, back from Mexico. A lot has happened behind the scenes. Of course, I'm not allowed to talk about it, and the governor, the head of the show, he can talk about as much of it as he wants, but it's been very interesting. I'll tell you this, I can't get emails because I'm consulting some on it, from home, from my employees' emails, to Tyrell and other people working on the show. So there's a lot of chicanery going on with the governor out there on the road because he's getting close to some really dangerous issues. He'll talk about the oil spill. We'll get into the economy, the wars, McChrystal, all of it today. Of course, his new book has been on the New York Times bestseller list for the last 2 months. It's available in bookstores everywhere. Jesse Ventura with Dick Russell, American Conspiracies. It's also available at Infowars.com. And he's not on the talk circuit right now. You know, a few times a year he comes out and does interviews. He's giving us this interview. He gave Larry King one a few weeks ago. And so I feel very honored to have the governor join us. Governor, great to have you.
Great to be here, Alex. No, I only did the Larry interview because they requested and that Oliver Stone was going to be on, and I thoroughly enjoy Oliver's movie making and his talent, and if we could go on that for a moment, he sent me a copy of his film. I think it's called South of the Border, the documentary, and I watched it. And as I said on Larry King, I urge everyone to watch this film because it's on Hugo Chavez and it's on South America, and it also covers how things that we're hearing here through our media are totally wrong from what the reality is down there.
Well, I know the media lied and said that Chavez had said that a U.S. weapon caused the Haitian earthquake, and then it did get retracted later, but a little bitty paragraph in the Washington Post, the New York Times, he never said that.
Well, the thing is about it, it's even bigger than that, Alex. It's a case of this. It's now clear to me, and don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-business, I'm not anti-anything, really. I'm a great believer in freedom. But it seems that any country that nationalizes their oil and nationalizes their natural resources and doesn't let our corporations go in there and, for lack of better terms, rape and pillage them, well, we then call that person a communist, a dictator, and we start working to oust them. I mean, we attempted a coup against Chavez back in 2003, but the people, the guy's been voted into office so many times you can't imagine. All the other South American leaders love the guy. He comes from a very modest background of being one of the people. He truly is. And let people be their own judge. But when Oliver and I were on the show, here comes Congressman, what's his name from Florida?
Ding Dong.
Baseball, Connie Mack. And he's advocating that this film should be banned. And I asked him, have you seen it? And he goes, no. That's the big picture, Alex, is that we're supposed to be a free country. You don't have to like Hugo Chavez, but you should at least have the ability to learn about the guy from alternative sources and not just what our government tells us about him.
Well, that's the Renaissance way, and I did watch the Larry King episode, and he did say, basically, ban it. And what an amazing anti-American statement. Even if I disagree with something, I think that, it should be available.
We don't ban things here. Banning things, that's ridiculous. We learn because we learn all about things and then make proper judgments, and we can all make them, but you certainly can't make them if you're not getting necessarily the whole truth or can't seek alternative methods of learning about stuff. If we rely solely on our government, Alex, and the mainstream soundbite media, we will be the most ignorant nation in the world.
Well, in many respects, we are. Stay there, Governor Jesse Ventura. We'll be right back. Hello, this is Alex Jones with some important questions. If you're going into a battle and they give you a rifle and a sidearm, how much ammunition do you want? My answer would be all I can get. In the battle for freedom and the lives of your loved ones, food is your only ammunition. How much do you want? When do you want it? Now or after the battle starts? When will you need it? Can you buy it without proper identification? Will there be any food? Will it make your children sick? If there's a quarantine and you can't feed yourself, will you go to the gathering center and be immunized? You wipe out all these problems if you have a good food supply. Food is your ammunition to fight for your freedom and your life. How much will you need? We don't know. How much do you want?